Howdy, 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 everybody, and welcome to the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge here at Okayama International Circuit, the second round of Season 4. I'm Austin. I'm joined by Avery McDonald with Marco Barbanera in the production booth, and it's another action-packed afternoon here in the Formula 3.5 Challenge. Avery, how are you doing?
Well, I'm just, fantastic, Austin. Week 2 of another great Formula 3.5 series, and it's a weird track, but I'm excited.
Okayama's a very popular track on the service. Everyone has experience here if you started in the rookie MX5 classes. And like me, I got my actual first win on this track on iRacing. But Okayama, so fun, so fast, and very, very entertaining in a Formula 3.5 car. You can
Yeah,
certainly push the limits of this track.
very entertaining. Long straights, technical turns, fast corners. This is
Wide.
one of those tracks that everybody, you can't just go. I don't have the track. I can't just go. I don't have the track, so I can't test
Everybody
it.
has
Everybody's
this
got the tracks, so. So what I do like about having this track in this schedule.
Yeah, and these new Formula 3.5 cars love this track. Like, I was able to push almost every corner, and it just felt so smooth and planted through every bit of it. As Tim DeLisle, he's coming through the last two corners right now, and you actually have to just tap the brakes just a little bit, heading onto that front straight. So that last corner proving to be a little bit of a hassle. We might see some overtakes attempts right there as Tim DeLisle comes across the line, locks it up, and he does not get pole as Edward Samborski jumps up on the pole. The American is sitting up there.
Yeah, Eddie Samborski putting down a really quick time. Super impressive to not just to knock off Delisle, who's in fourth, but that's Olsen and DeCarmo, who are also in the top four. So that's just a great run by Eddie.
Yeah, I was running with Eddie Samborski. He was super excited this week in practice, and his times were looking absolutely sweet as butter right now. And as well as Fabio DeCarmo, he was running some pretty good times as well. The North American and just American guys were running great times. Paul Ilbrink unable to pull off Samborski from the top, but he did set a purple sector 1. Ilbrink sitting in second place by 200ths of a second.
A great qualifying effort for Ilbrink. Usually known for not being quick. Qualifying, we say it every week, but now he's sitting second place so far, which is a couple more cars that are need to complete their time. But yeah, great run by Paul.
Yeah, Paul Ilbrink, absolutely fantastic right there. So we were looking down the field. Omar Baja, first lap was invalidated. Very easy to go off track here.
Yeah, you need to be careful going off track, especially in sector 1. It's very crucial to stay off the grass. Otherwise, if you get on the grass, big carnage can happen, Austin.
Absolutely. 27 degrees here in Okayama, Japan. On track, it is 26 degrees in the air. It's got a dew point of 997 with a humidity of 73. So these cars are going to be absolutely firing on all edges today.
All edges, I like it. Yeah, not really humid, so that's gonna be really nice. Pretty fair weather. It could be a lot worse. We've seen a lot worse weather, but so far we got pretty even field. Top 17 cars. Within a second.
Yeah, that is a intensely tight field. But look at the gap from first to seventh, all within 3/10 of each other.
Yeah, really. This is a really good quality of drivers. We always see it every week, though. In this Formula 3.5, always a great SOF at 4.1K. And this is a race you want to do well and to get as many champ points as you can to try to clinch a championship.
Yeah, this is the race that everyone wants to win. And usually it's been dominated by Tim DeLisle, but it actually is not been dominated at championship by Tim DeLisle because his first week, we saw him not even finish on the podium.
Yeah, it was a rough race for a lot of drivers last week, but this is a new week, new track, new continent. So big you never know. They were racing on a little island too, so.
New hemisphere.
New hemisphere, yeah, new hemisphere.
Actually, no.
No.
Same hemisphere.
Oh, come on, Austin. You know I wasn't good at geography.
Neither am I. The Earth is wide, okay? There's America on one side, then everything else on the others, okay? I thought they overlapped.
Well, you know,
That's going to
oh,
the failed compilation, isn't it?
the one thing we do know, Austin, is we got Eddie Samborski on the pole for this race, and just such a great qualifying effort for Ed and then for Paul. But you know, really good time for everybody. I mean, 1.3 seconds in between first and last. I think Austin, you're gonna take us through the field.
Yes, I am. As qualifying as finished, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to say this. Starting up on pole is Edward Samborski, followed by Paul Ilbrey, Greg Olson, Fabio DeCarmo, Tim Delisle down to 5th, Dmitry Kovanoff, Christopher Herberto, Riley Miller, Robert Tarleton, Shane Russell, Dylan Freckleton, Rob Crouch, Josh Stewart, Dave Martin, Candace Storm, Alessandro Roccatello, Omar Baja, Luciano Costa, James Byrne, and Jamie Byrne line up in 20th and 21st, followed by Phil Reed and Nicholas Pinguor at the end of the grid. 23 cars lined up and 23 cars ready to go racing here in Japan.
You're gonna need a good start here, definitely here at Okayama. It's just very crucial because what we've noticed so far, you know, last week and then a little bit of last season is there could be some real aggressive, you know, starts here, and you need to be careful that you're not going to get taken out, but you need to get that perfect start to try to get an edge on your competitors.
Your lap 1, it's going to be very crucial. Turn 1, we might see everybody make it through turn 1, but the real kicker is turns 2 through 3 and 4. Those turns are going to decide on how much grip that you actually have on these cold tires, because turn 2 is very long left-hander, and you got to lift off a little bit too much, especially on the opening lap. You always going to get that guy who pushes just a little bit too hard, and you might see somebody go off into the grass. That's what happened last season, and it caused a massive, I think, 8-car collision, and it was just calamity right here. We're going to see if these guys know how to get it done around Okayama as Paul Ilbrey slides into the front row. Edward Samborski in that pole position. The lights are coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go racing here at Okayama for the Formula 3.5 Challenge. Good start by Samborski, swings it around the outside. Ilbrey holding it down to the inside. Side by side they go, heading into turn 2. Ilbrey inside. Paul Ilbrey now onto the outside. Samborski onto the inside. Side by side they go. That's dangerous, and Ilbrey takes the lead. Samborski taking it very easy down to his inside. That's Greg Olson as they head into the hairpin.
Yeah, great start by Ilbrey, but also a great start for Greg Olson. You see Delisle back there swerving behind DeCarmo. Samborski may try to make an overtake here on Olson.
And Olson very slow off the line, and a few stunts being happening throughout the field as Ilbrey and Olson side by side through the hairpin. Olson down to the inside. We're going to have a second lead change in the same lap.
Yeah, Olson just made a great move to get by Paul Ilbrey there. Olson out in front, and it goes Ilbrey, then Samborski.
Ooh, big contact right there for the blue and teal of Fabio DeCarmo. He's dropped down 6 spots so far. He's got a lot of damage on that side pod.
Yeah, Olson's going to lead lap number 1. We'll see if he can continue to lead lap number 2, but he's got Ilbrey right there, then Samborski behind him.
Yeah. Behind them is Tim Delisle sitting in forward. Dmitry Kovanoff, Christopher Herbert, O'Reilly Miller, Dylan Freckleton, and Fabio DeCarmo with Shane Russell, your top 10.
Relatively clean start. You got to be careful here as you go through turn 3. If you get into the grass, it's going to really send you sideways. So these drivers are, as the track gets a little bit tighter, they need to be very cautious, but they want to go fast. You see on board with Delisle going to try to chase down the top 3. You don't see Delisle in this situation very often early, Austin.
Yeah, we rarely see Tim Delisle outside of the top 3, and especially at the start. Here comes Fabio DeCarmo on Freckleton. even with that damage on the side pod, he's still got some speed down the straight.
Yeah, Freckleton kind of just let him by, which was a good move. You don't really want to battle side by side in that corner there, but the Carmel's going to move back up to 8th, still down 4 spots. We'll see if he's going to be able to try to charge through the field.
Back up front, Olsen and Ilbrink still tight with each other, and Paul Ilbrink looking very poised to make a move soon on one of the positive sim racing drivers.
Yeah, Olsen still out front, going to lead lap number 2. Once again, followed by Ilbrink, Samborski, and Delisle. And Tim starting to catch up to Eddie. You might see a passing opportunity here into turn 4.
So right on board with Tim Delisle, and off into the grass is Phil Reed, and in front of him, that is BMR Ludwig, who got turned around.
Yeah, they're unfortunate for Ludovic and Phil Reed, but we're on board with Paul Ilbrink trying to find a way, as Paul Ilbrink is showing the way right now in the lead.
Yeah, Greg Olsen activated DRS on that straight. Definitely wants to stay in the lead, using all of it, but you gotta remember that as Tim Delisle gets past Cedric Samborski, swung it around the outside, that double left-hander. And now, this is Kofnov sending it up the inside on the American. Now Samborski's down to the inside, Kofnov around to the outside. Here comes Herbino on Kofnov. There's a little bit of contact between them.
Samborski kind of falling back just a little bit, but still maintaining a good pace in 4th. Herbino might look to the inside, but not quite there. One thing I like about this track, Austin, is if you take try to make a good overtake, is that Herbino goes around.
Christopher Herbino, as you were saying, if you go off track, it will get into the grass, and that's what happens when you go off track. Just a wheel off track, and around goes Herbino.
Thankfully, nobody else was collected up in the incident, because in this series, it's always so bunched up. Anything can happen. We're going to see if Dimitri's going to go to the right side of Samborski, going to try to make an overtake here.
Samborski trying to hold that outside line. Kofnov, he's going to be risking it on the exit. And, oh, that's Paul Ilbrink into the wall. And that's that double left-hander. He's on the transfer track right now. Right on board with Paul Ilbrink. Might have got into the grass in the braking zone, and that is exactly what's happened.
Yeah, you got to be so cautious with these cars. You get to the grass. Once again, just fortunate that he went to the right instead of left.
Oh, look at that wing damage.
Wow, the wing is... Yeah, you're going to put that one up on the wall in the garage.
Yeah.
Simulated garage.
And here's the overtake attempt by Dimitri on Samborski, and he's got that one very nicely.
Yeah, the one thing I like about this track, as I was saying,
Herbino.
Herbino incident is trying to make an overtake. The next turn you're defending, so it's really cool for making these overtakes. We've seen some pretty good races so far. Herbino, great to see him back out there, still running.
Yeah, Herbino's not known for giving up. And here comes Roccatello. Trying to hold it around to the outside in that chrome beast of a Formula 3.5 car, but Herbino had that inside line and he just knew where to put his car.
Yeah, it's so shiny. I about put my sunglasses on. That it's starting to blind me a little bit, but yeah, great move to get around Herbino. Herbino does have some damage, but still have to make a good move by Alessandro. That is 4:15. Gonna try to chase down.
And there was a car heading into pits. That was Paul Ilbrink. And, oh, almost hit the pit lane wall. But he's going for that wing repair right there. And I think he's going to come back out on track.
Oh, yeah, Paul come back out. We're taking a look back at that replay. Again, Paul, coming in pit road. We'll see if he hits the wall.
I don't think he does, but it comes so close. He's pushing hard. Oh. Oh.
Yeah, Yeah, very close for Paul. Um, well, it's a little unfortunate. He's going to make his way back out of the pits in 21st place. Going to try to run down Phil Reed. We'll take a look at the battle between Freckleton, Russell, and Crouch. That is for the 7th position.
Oh, Robert Tarleton. And Jamie Burns collects Tarleton as well. Here is that multi-car incident. Robert Tarleton racing and diving it down to the inside and just gets tapped, reverse net coated. Kerbenow's getting in there. Then one of the Burns hits him, pops him into the air. But this is the most reverse net code I've ever seen. And this is Kenneth Storm. So that was a big send, and wow.
Yeah, it all starts with the big send, and unfortunately, spun him around. Take a look back at Greg Olson. Olson is in the lead, as you can obviously tell by he is the leader. But
look,
if you take a look on the bottom graphic, Tim Delisle is coming.
And he's coming slowly but surely. 4/10 gain, lap 5. 0.08 of a second gain last lap. And I'm pretty sure he's about to get into that draft. So, when in doubt, never count Tim Delisle out. And off goes Kenneth Storm. And he has no wing damage that I know of. But why was he off the track? Oh, just a little bit too much mustard through that corner. Very easy to throw the car around there. But great save by Kenneth to keep it out of everyone else.
Yeah, Freckleton getting chased down by Rob Crouch and Russell. Really, Freckleton, we saw him last week. One of the drivers, we haven't really seen here on Apex Racing TV in this series, but it's great to see him doing a fantastic job in 7th.
These guys having a massive drag race down the back straight. Looking down to the inside. Here comes Russell on Freckleton. Russell has got his car down in there, and he's got it on the exit. Shane Russell up in the 7th.
Yeah, Russell up in the 7th. A great move by Russell. Take a look at Rob Crouch. Just kind of sitting there. Oh, gonna try to pull the fakie on Freckleton. A little fakey, but maybe we'll pull the move next time.
I think he's looking at the Memer's Guide for iRacing, where you just constantly poke your nose down to the inside to just try to distract the driver in front of you. And let me tell you, it actually works a few times. But Tim Delisle, fastest lap of the race by 0.2, gaining on Olson, and he's getting a bit of that draft now.
Take a look at the timing and scoring. That's showing your I-rating, positive and negative if they finish in this position. Take a look at Paul Ilbrink's down at -106, but Delisle only a +21. That just shows you the difference between his 8,000 I rating and second place. Second, Paul Ilbrink is a 6,700. Big gap in between, but really, this field is full of talented drivers.
Yeah, this field is absolutely stacked right now. Rob Crouch swinging it down to the inside. Side by side they go, heading into the hairpin. Crouch, a little bit of a lockup right there. They're going to exit, still side by side, a little bit loose for Freckleton. Rob Crouch going to get up into 8th.
Great move by Crouch. That takes Russell and Crouch around Freckleton. These last couple laps have been a really good battle. We'll see if Crouch can get back up to Shane Russell and try to get a good battle for 7th. Let's see. Nice and smoothly going around the track. We'll take a look at Greg Olson, still leading as we complete lap number 9. On to lap number 10, Olson still out in front of Delisle, but Delisle is coming. You take a look at the bottom of your screen. Delisle's the quicker the last 5 laps.
It's all green right there for Tim Delisle. 7,000ths of a second faster than Olson through sector 1. Through the hairpin they go. Heading down that long back straight. Delisle buried in that draft. Look at that interval go down between Delisle and Olsen.
Sector 1
1/10
pretty.
through sector 2.
Sector 1 pretty equal, but you know, sector 2 almost 0.2 of a second quicker. We'll see where he's gonna end up in sector 3 as we take a look from Greg Olson's wing back at Delisle.
900ths of a second this time by.
We're gonna see a 4/10 quicker lap here.
It's looking like it.
One thing that we, you know, from this view, you'll see Delisle is in the tow at the moment, so has a good, we'll be able to get a good tow in these straightaways.
And Delisle once again buried in that draft. Here comes Delisle, actually slower through sector 4, but overall 2.6 tenths faster that lap than Greg Olson.
Yeah, it's one thing to catch him. It's another thing to pass him. Take a look at Riley Miller here trying to run down Samborski. Great run by Miller, up 3 spots. He is the number 22 in here. He has a 2800 I rating. What a fantastic run for Riley. You know, with that I rating, it's very tough to get into this top split here on this beautiful, beautiful, for me, Saturday night here at Okayama International Raceway. So, man, yeah, just great. Did a great run to try to get past our pole sitter, Samborski.
Yeah, Samborski and Miller teammates in DFR. And I must say, the new DFR cars are looking absolutely snazzy.
By the way, I mean International Circuit. I don't know why I said Raceway. I was going to try to say Circuit, but we messed up.
As Avery tries to figure out work season, I try to figure out what hemisphere we're in. We are going a bit crazy.
Yeah, but we're taking a look at Samborski here, the DFR driver. You know, started on the pole, is down to 4th, but that's nothing to be ashamed of so far. Lap number 12, running in this top 5 is very impressive for anyone.
Foreground gain by Delisle on Greg Olson. Coming up on half a second now between them.
Yeah, these positive sim racing drivers 1 and 2. It's familiar to see these drivers up into the podium positions, but you know, we're not even halfway through. Anything can happen. We learned that last week.
Yeah, anything can definitely happen here in Okayama, and especially in the Formula 3.5s. But it's positive sim racing 1-2 so far.
Yep, Olson still maintaining that lead. 11 laps so far. We'll see if he's going to lead lap number 12. Delisle, take a look at that timing. How much quicker he is between him and 3rd. They're just starting to pull away from 3rd, which is going to allow them to, you know, start having some good battles because they're not going to be too worried about you know, losing too much time. But they are teammates, so we'll see what happens.
Definitely, the teammates need to work together, and really they pulled out their main objective, pull away from the edge of the field, but I feel we're about to see a Mercedes 2014 Bahrain race between these two.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, we'll see. Just wait and see. Last lap, though, Olson was just a little bit quicker. Maybe used a little bit of that DRS, but we do have a slow car. Slow car might get in the way.
That's Robert Tarleton up ahead. He's been out of front of these guys, but they've both been keeping relatively around the same pace. Just a bit faster have these guys been going. Tarleton's last lap, actually, he set the fast lap of the race last lap. The 1:16.22.
Wow, that's great job by Tarleton. It's too bad that he isn't leading this pack as the leader, but you know,
he's got the pace around here.
He does have some good pace. Right now, he's kind of showing Greg Olson the way.
And Greg Olson is watching and studying, and he improves on his time, and he pulls off 2/10 on Delisle that time by.
Yeah, you know, probably saw, you know, maybe something that Tarleton was doing and said, hey, I'm going to try this out. And probably didn't, but, you know, got a little bit quicker that lap. So great job by Olsen. We'll take a look at the battle with Crouch and Russell. Two drivers starting to pull away from Freckleton, who they're battling just a couple laps ago.
Got DFR teammates right here. Russell in the gold. Crouch in his classic burnt orange.
Kind of following each other into that corner, staying as close as possible, because they're really not trying to overtake right now. They're trying to work together to get up to DeCarmo. And for instance, if they start battling, Freckleton's right behind them, and that'll be a three-way battle for 7th, and they don't want that.
Kofnoff, Samborski, little fight for 4th right now. Samborski a little bit gained on him after he lost an entire second on lap 11 to Kofnoff, who has had a pretty good run today, up 3 spots, sitting on the podium. Biggest mover so far is Omar Baja, up 5 spots.
Yeah, great job by Omar. Usually we honestly see about a +9 or 10 for our biggest mover, but you know, we're just getting ready to pass the halfway point. But great job by Omar running +5 the last lap. He was just a little bit slower than Christopher Herberto, who's in front of him in 11th, but within a 10th of a second, so anything can happen.
Yeah, Christopher Herberto just looking like he might be under risk from the charge of Omar Baja, but Herberto, he's currently looking at Josh Stewart. As here's a replay of Herberto on Omar Baja. Looking down to the inside, and what a dangerous send into turn 1. Almost makes contact with Baja right there.
Oh yeah, the more dangerous the better, Austin. That's what, I mean, that is some pretty good driving there by Herberto. I mean, that's what I like to see. Just lick the stamp and send it. Just try not to wreck somebody while you're doing it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be having any contact in an open wheel car, and the NASCAR be all right because they expect that. And here, if you get in an open wheel car, you might get sent off into a fence post.
Yeah, you'd hate to see it, but the one thing that Greg Olson's doing is something that he likes to see. He likes to see his name up in that #1 position, but what he doesn't like seeing is that Tim Delisle in his mirror, and Delisle is getting bigger in his mirror.
Yeah, Delisle is getting close, and I know how they say objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. Well, if you're looking in Olson's mirror right now, you would be seeing a blue and white car hounding down on you.
Yeah, you don't need that sticker on that mirror. I mean, he's already close. But yeah, Delisle just kind of lurking, trying to get around Olson, but you know, 8/10 of a second. But the one thing Tim might be doing, since he's in the tow of Olson, he's probably saving some of his DRSs.
When we talked to Olson last season, we talked about his DRS use. He always saves it for the end of the race. He never uses it at the earliest possible moment. Greg Olson, however, on the opening laps, he was using DRS.
You know, the one thing I've noticed with Delisle is he's actually going off track quite a bit for him. Usually it's a no off track day, but Delisle is he's stretching those limits, and you know, we've already seen it earlier today. You know, Ilbrink kind of stretched the limits, gone to corner entry, went around, and Tarleton and Phil Reed had some incidents. But so he's pushing the limits. We take a look at Tarleton here, who's still putting on a good pace. You know, last lap was a 1:16.37, but as we take a look
faster than our leaders.
Yeah. Take a look at
Here
Herbert.
comes Herbert up on Stewart. Ambitious move, but he's going to exit right beside Stewart. Stewart holding that inside line. Herberto going a little bit off track extravaganza. I know the Baja 500s this weekend, but Herberto's driving like he's driving in there. He's holding it around the outside of another corner.
Herberto going to try to, just trying to maintain the battle. That's what I love about this track. One time you're the attacker, the other time you're the defender, just depending on what line you're at. And Herberto makes the pass there. What a very strong effort by by him.
Now he held 3 straight corners around the outside, side by side with Joshua Stewart. What a corner sequence by Christopher Herberto to jump up into 10th place.
Some dangerous moves there. You know, he went off track in a position where we've seen drivers wreck there. But really good move. We'll take a look back at your battle from first. Olsen and Delisle, we've been saying it, you know, lap by lap by lap. I just need to get a button that says Olsen. There's James Byrne off the track. Down at 21st, a lap down.
Byrne sliding it, trying to control his car, get back on track. He's got his relative up, and he's just letting everyone pass him right now.
Yeah, he was doing a little Formula Drift in the grass there.
I feel like this is just going to be massive lockup going into that turn. Very easy to do. And then he saw the leaders right behind him, so he just decided to stay off.
Yeah, good move by him. You know, unfortunate for him. But, you know, sometimes...
This is Herberto.
Sometimes you go, we'll take a look at Herberto here.
Oh, no! Herberto! No! You don't want to see that.
That was a nice slide.
Made a great move up into 10th, and now he's back in 12th, and he has to do it all over again. But first, he has to catch up to Omar Baja and Joshua Stewart now, with 11 laps to go here at Okayama.
Yeah, Olsen still leading.
Lyle's dropped back by half a second now.
Yeah, last lap Olsen was 0.2 quicker than Delisle, so I mean that's just huge. Anytime you're gaining time, it's huge. Definitely when you're the leader. Take a look at Riley Miller, the FTN Racing driver, up into the top 5. Great run by Riley.
Mr. Riley Miller up 3 spots, sitting in 5th. Closing down on Samborski. Greg Olsen, new fastest lap of the race, 1:16.189. He's starting to pull away from Delisle with 10 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, Olsen putting down some really good laps. You know, super important. I mean, definitely run, you know, the fastest time of the session in the lap number 19. That's a half second quicker. The last 2 laps, Olsen was over Delisle, which is huge. But you know, Tim's still in striking distance, though.
Tim still in striking distance, and oh no! Well, that's a curse. Olsen is off, and what happened to Delisle in round 1 has happened to everybody else except for Delisle. Delisle is now in the lead.
Take a look. Greg Olsen gets a nice entrance in there. Good exit, and then yeah.
Front left lockup, back end kicked out. Looked like a grassy entry, and we all know the grass on the outside of the track, it kind of weaves on right there. But yeah, the front end, front left, big lockup right there.
Oh, you hate to see it for Greg Olsen. We'll take a look from the Choppa camera. I really like this camera. It shows you the whole, you hate to see it. Hate to see the lead get relinquished like that.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to. Robert Talton, new fastest lap, 1:15.96. So Robert Talton going like he's an actual 2004 Ferrari. It just really makes you wish if he didn't have that incident, where he would be right now.
Yeah, it really makes you wonder where he would be if he did have the incident. But he had the incident, and a great time. Paul Ilbring just ran a 1:16.01, and he had an incident earlier too. I mean, right now the quickest drivers on the track are in the 18th and 20th.
Yeah, and they both went into the pit lane to replace something, so I believe they're on newer tires as well, but you never know with these guys.
Again.
Yep, 1:15.783 for Tarleton. And don't count out Dmitry Kovanov. He just set the fast sector 4. But Tarleton, when no one else is around him, he is the quickest car out there right now.
Yeah, great run by you. Tarleton, I mean, besides the wreck, I mean, just from a times perspective, we're taking a look at Kenneth right now, trying to battle with Alessandro in 13th. This battle's been going on for quite a while, and a really good battle here on the track. Both are in the positive positions from where they started. Kenneth had a off track earlier in the toe here. We'll see if we're going to see a move. Defense.
Storm looking for on Rockatello. Rockatello defending down to the inside. Storm trying to send his way around the outside. So we look back from Rockatello. Now Storm actually under attack from Martin.
Yeah, Martin with the opportunity. We're taking a look at the backside of Kenneth there. Martin in striking distance for that 14th position. Pretty soon we'll have okay, not pretty soon. We have a three-way battle for 13th.
Yes, we do. 1, 2, 3. Rockatello, Storm, and Martin. All three of these guys looking absolutely feisty today. But Dave Martin, he's got the bit between his teeth. He wants to get up some ground. Soaring side by side through turn 1. A little bit of an early break for Martin, and Storm swung it around the outside to stay in 14th.
Yeah, Martin, saw the opportunity to get around, but not quite. But lap 23 or 30, so still have some laps to go for an opportunity for Martin to move himself into 14th. Take a look at Dmitry, and he's got Riley Miller right on his gearbox.
And oh no, Dmitry Kovanov. Big slide right there. That promotes Samborski back into 3rd on the podium.
Yeah, Samborski on the final spot on the podium. It was still a really good battle with Dave Martin and Kenneth. We'll take a look back at a replay here of Martin and Kenneth.
Martin cutting Kenneth down. Martin looks down to the inside. Side by side they go. Martin. Easy move. 14th place.
Nice pass by the no-nonsense racing Dave Martin in 14th position. Started 14th. Is the car number 14. That might be his favorite number.
Yep. It honestly might be his favorite number.
I might PM him after that and see if it is. But right now, Delisle is showing the way for Greg Olson. We'll see if Olson's going to be able to. I mean, there is a 2.5 second, little less than 2.5 second gap, but it's not over yet. It's definitely not over.
We've seen some insane stuff here happening in the Formula 3.5 challenge. Greg Olson down by 2.4 seconds. He was in the lead after a small mistake, and that's been haunting everyone who's led this race. Just going off that double left-hander. Are we going to see that curse continue? So looking at Dmitry Kovanov sitting in 4th. Just trying to close down on Edward Samborski after his journey off into the grass on those double left-handers.
Yeah, Dmitry, had that spin earlier to lose the podium position, but still a great run, up 2 spots for the driver who, very talented driver, very talented. Number 4 in the field, in the stacked field. We're taking a look at Herbino here, trying to catch up to Baja. Baja is your biggest mover of the race with 6 positions.
Christopher Herbino hunting down on the back of these cars. Martin and Rockatello still fighting with each other. Rockatello held that inside line. And Martin just trying to find his way around him. And if we ride on board, Martin, I want to see what Storm's done to the back of that wing because... Oh, no! Well... If there were ever... Apparently, lucky number 14 was not lucky enough for Dave Martin. And right as I wanted to go on board with him, because I was expecting the rear wing of the car in front of him, they've hidden the Renault Sport on the back of that car, and then Martin went around. Oh, that is so unfortunate.
You hate to see it. You really do.
Well, the back of Alessandro Roccatello's car is hidden the Renault Sport logo as... Oh, that's a lot of damage on Rob Crouch's car. Looks like it got rear-ended.
Well, we'll find out now.
Here's Crouch on Russell. Crouch sending it down to the inside. Oh, no, no! And, oh, thanks, iRacing. Okay.
Oh, teammates. Teammates.
It was net cone mostly, though. Crouch just slid right there, and Russell just drove it in there. Then that iRacing damage model being absolutely unfair to Rob Crouch right now.
You know, life isn't fair, and it just showed us today with Rob Crouch. Just, you know, you really hate to see it. You know, definitely with the teammates battling like that. But we're taking a look at Josh Stewart right now. Very close. That was with Baja.
Baja was so far to the right, it reported him as coming out of the pit lane. And now here's Baja looking down to the inside. This is inviting Herberto to try to swing around to the outside. Just 3 laps to go, and I'm going to say it's time for DRS, baby.
Yeah, the DRS, if you haven't left, you're going to be using it right now.
And Omar Baja is using it right now. Swinging around the outside, then, oh no! Christopher Herberto gets to the side of him and he drives off like Dirty Dan would.
And a very aggressive move by Baja, but fortunately for him, only lost his spot. We'll take a look back at the replay here as Baja tried to make a move on Stewart.
And just a little bit of a tap, and then a set back, and then he says, all right, I've had my fun. Okay, bye.
And the one thing with Omar Baja, and that loses him the biggest move of the race to Ludovic, who's a couple spots behind him. So unfortunate for him, but Alessandro running very well in 13th. The one thing with a couple laps to go, the gap for the lead has kind of shrunk from 2.5 to 1.8 seconds, but time is running very narrow for Olsen. That's a cool car.
Yeah, that North Sim Racing car, absolutely nice. And I love that, well, I'm guessing it was the attempt on the Italian flag, but, he is from Italy, but that front wing looks more like the Hungarian flag.
Oh, well, now the gap is 1.6 seconds, but no, we're going to take a look at, there's Tim Delisle, 1.6 seconds. You see Olsen back there, going to be 2 laps to go. Olsen's throwing everything he has. He was 1:15.9 the lap before, so about 0.3 quicker than Delisle. My math was right. 0.3 quicker. He's been quicker the last 4 laps than your leader Delisle. But with 2 laps to go, time is running out for Olsen to catch up.
Yeah, Tim Delisle, a little bit of a wiggle right there, but nothing that will worry him. But Tim Delisle, he just knows the edge of this track so well. And he's tricked our timing software to be thinking, I hope Marco has this ready to go. According to our timing software, Tim Delisle has been off track 27 times. But he's also on an Australian connection, so net coded 27 times off the track. And our off track is not exactly the same as iRacing off tracks.
Yeah, because I got 13 on mine, but we take a look at DeCarmo here. DeCarmo trying to run down Miller. Tim Delisle's going to take the white flag, and Olsen is coming.
Olsen is coming 1.1 seconds behind him. It's not going to be close enough, though, unless something monumental happens to Tim DeLisle right now. As he comes through turns 3 and 4, 5 through 6. Through that little kink at 7. I don't know if they count that as a turn. Heading into the hairpin. And down that massive long straight. And, oh, Martin and Burns involved in another incident.
Get back to the lead. We got Delisle. Olsen put a quickest sector 1.
Yeah, Olsen closed in 8/10 now. It's Delisle. Olsen. Olsen picking up pace. Just a few more quarters to go. Tim DeLisle in full redemption mode. 1 quarter down. 2 quarter down. Ladies and gentlemen, don't ever count this guy out. After not even taking the podium last time, he's going to take the win. Ladies and gentlemen, Tim DeLisle. Followed by Greg Olsen, Everett Samborski, Dimitri Kofnoff, Mr. Riley Miller, and Fabio DiCarmo are top 6 right now. Running on board with Herbino and Josh Stewart. They're in a battle. Heading to the line. Herbino going wide. Jasper Stewart's going to get 10th place. Herbino's going to nab the 11th spot. And here's what happened between Dave Martin and Jamie Byrne. That's just a very ambitious send down the inside. That's right on board with Jamie Byrne right now. And he's just holding his line. It might have well turned in right there, but very ambitious move by Dave on the American. Paul Ilbrink had a very rough day today. Says he comes across the line. And Robert Tarleton, after setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and, well, spending a bit of time in the pits, Robert Tarleton is going to come out in 20th place, but he's going to be pretty happy if he looks at the timing sheets.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you got to be happy about, being fast. So take us through the results there, Austin.
Tyndall takes the win after starting all the way down in 5th place. Greg Olsen in 2nd place, followed by Edward Samborski. Our Polsitter dropped down to 3rd place. Dimitri Kofnoff in 4th. Mr. Riley Miller, Fabio DiCarmo, Shane Russell, Rob Crouch, Dylan Frankleton, Josh Stewart, Christopher Herbino, Omar Baja, Alessandro Marcatello, Kenneth Storm, Bimar Ludwig, Paul Ilbrink, Phil Reed, Dave Martin, Jamie Byrne, and Robert Tarleton in 20th, followed by James Byrne, Luciano Costa, and Nicholas Pinguar, who didn't even make it around a lap here, as well as Luciano Costa. But that has been our race here for the Formula 3.5 Challenge, as we are joined by, for the first time this season, it feels very odd saying that since we're in week 2, taking the win after starting it from 5th. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tim DeLisle.
Oh my god, I needed that.
Yeah, especially after last week, and especially after this qualifying. The odds were stacked against you, but you pulled through.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said the last few weeks hadn't completely ruined my confidence. Just mistakes all over the place, even the races, not on the broadcast. Yesterday, I did what Greg did today. Same corner, touched the grass, went off, lost the lead, lost the race. Qualifying today, I knew from yesterday, the dirty air here is really, really rough. So I knew qualifying was key, and I just completely screwed it up. So I don't know what just happened, but I'm just so happy.
You mentioned that what happened to Greg Olsen. That corner was catching everybody out today. everyone who was in the lead went off in that corner or had some other incident. And were you just tiptoeing around that corner every time when you got into the lead?
Yeah, I was. Even after yesterday, like, it's such a tricky corner. I don't know why, like, the car's been improved this season, but I'm struggling a lot more here than I was last time around, particularly through that section. And so, yeah, just tiptoeing, like, the last few laps especially, Greg was flying. Like, I made a little mistake, but other than that, like, I was pushing as hard as I could, within reason, except through there. And, like, yeah, I don't know. I really needed this win. So I was psyching myself out a bit, but yeah, just, yeah, happy.
Well, glad you're all smiles today. You're back on top of the podium. So before we let you go celebrate, anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, Positive Sim Racing, Lubomir did a great job with the setup this week. Improved it from last time around, so big thanks to him. Congrats to Greg on the P2. I know he's going to be devastated when it could have been a win, but still a 1-2's fantastic result. Thanks to Fabio and Ed, the clean racing the first few laps. I was a little bit worried just with netcode, that sort of thing, but you know, everyone left racing room, and that was really good. And also want to say well done to Riley, who's normally in the second split, and he was up here today and did really well. So yeah, you guys for the coverage, and yeah, that's it. And Ed for I know he'd be disappointed after pole ending up third, but still a good recovery drive from him. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, Tim, and congrats on the win. And Avery standing by with Greg Olson.
Hey, Greg. First off, congrats on a fantastic race. You know, you started, P3. How were you managed to get to the lead after in the first lap?
Yeah, I had a good start, I thought. I think Ed didn't get such a good start, so I just decided to slip in behind Paul, and it looked like Ed made a bit of a mistake at the first corner or something like that, so I managed to slip through. And then going down the back straight, I noticed Paul didn't use DRS, so I decided to use it. And I basically just copied the move that Swellio did on me last season. So I just went around the outside of it, the hairpin, and I knew that I'd have the inside line for the next left-hander. But look, it takes a lot of cooperation from the other driver. So I know with Paul, I can really trust him on the track. He's a really good racer. So yeah, so it was perfect, basically a perfect first lap.
Yeah, you ran such a great race. I can't do this interview without asking. So what happened when you went off track and surrendered the lead?
Yeah, we've known, or at least I've known, coming out of the hairpin, if you run a little bit wide out of the hairpin at the end of the back straight, there's a little bit of a bump, and on our particular setup, it really spins up the rear tires if you have too much throttle, and that happened. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it quick enough. It doesn't spin you off the track, but it really overheats the right rear tire, and so when I came into the next left-hander, I basically had no rear grip, and the car was going to spin me around unless I caught it. So I did catch it, but I had to go off the track to make sure I didn't spin. So that's what gave Tim the win, unfortunately. But, it's still an excellent result for the team, especially considering where we qualified.
Yeah, definitely a great result for the team. You really picked up the pace towards the end. You were kind of closing in on Tim. Next week we go to Circuit Park Zandvoort. What do you think of that track?
It's not one of my favorites, I must admit. But I think it'll be a lot like Okayama. Even with Tim behind me, of all people, I was pretty confident I could keep him behind me. It's really difficult to overtake. And I think I'd expect a similar situation at Zandvoort, really difficult to overtake. So qualifying is going to be really important. So hopefully Tim and I do a better job in qualifying next week.
Yeah, before we let you go, anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Positive Sim Racing, all my teammates, Tim and Lubomir, Manuel, Javier, Ricardo, and the rest of the team. Did a great job on setup this week. We've kind of been struggling since the start of this season, but I feel like we're starting to chip away at it and make a bit of progress. So thanks to all the to the guys for all the support and all the work trying to figure out the new tire changes. Oh, and thanks to you guys as always for the broadcast.
Well, thank you. Well, congrats on a great second place finish. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. See you then.
That's Greg Olson, the positive sim racing driver, takes home the runner-up position, the podium. Back to Austin.
Yeah, I'm standing by with our pole sitter. He finished. Not the best start for him, but he did finish back up on the podium after a good recovery drive. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Edward Samborski.
Thank you, Mr. Knight. It was, you know, I got the job done there in qualifying, but I was a little timid in the opening laps. I didn't want to have another incident. So being offline and outside of all the other cars, I figured, you know what, I'll just let them go and I'll try to keep the pace. And then I just made a few too many mistakes. You know, I was about a couple tenths off for the whole middle part of the race. And by the time I settled down, there was huge gaps. And then I just realized, hey man, just bring it home, take the podium, you know?
Yeah, and certainly those googly eyes on your helmet weren't hindering you at all, especially in qualifying. You haven't even tried with cross eyes, those big giant eyes. Makes you go really fast around here, because that was the first time we've ever seen you on pole.
You know, it's the first time since Circuit of the Americas, like when this first started, that I actually put the whole lap together without a mistake. And, you know, I've always said I have the pace, I just do something stupid. Well, today, my stupid was on the first lap, and the second lap, I just got it together. And I just floored it. I was like, you know what? I have to try something to be up front. So I was just wheeling it, man. I mean, I was sliding sideways off the corner exits, doing all sorts of dumb stuff. But hey, I got the time, so I'll take it, you know?
A lot of cars are going off in that double left-hander. Were you worried about pushing it a little bit too hard to go into that corner? We were talking with Tim, and he was tiptoeing it through there.
Yes, absolutely. The corner complex is very deceiving. It makes you think that you have plenty of grip, but you kind of learn the hard way through practice that you don't. And you have to be very, very mindful of your inputs on the steering wheel, on the throttle, and even the brake. I mean, one little misstep and you're going for a ride. Especially for trying not to clip the grass too, because just about everyone in the field is swinging all the way out to the right-hand side, getting into it. If you touch the grass, that's race over. I mean, there's a little tiny bit of runoff, you know, and there's nothing. You might as well just put a wall there with a sad face, you know?
Well, you certainly are not wearing a sad face, even on your helmet. Congrats, man, on the third place. Before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
I'll thank Riley, because I know he wanted to try and pass me, and I left the Discord to make sure I had perfect silence. And he didn't try anything stupid, or he didn't lock up and slam into me. So we got out incident free. I'll take it, you know?
Incident free. Well, we're going to see you next week at Xandervort. You sir have a great night.
Thank you, you too.
On to you, Avery.
Well, Austin, what a fantastic race we had at Okayama. We saw some heavy hitters, you know, get some carnage, you know, like Ilbrink. We saw, you know, Tarleton run super quick after he got wrecked. But, you know, another great week here at the Formula 3.5 Challenge. If you like what you saw today, just come back next week, same time, just at Zandvoort, which is in the same hemisphere. So just to be careful with that, Austin. Another different continental race, but it was such a great race, Austin.
It absolutely was a great race here at Okayama. As always, the iRacing Formula 3.5 Challenge bringing us some fantastic racing. I've been joined by Avery McDonald in the booth. Mark Barbonera has been giving us these great graphics and camera angles here today on Apex Racing TV. Thank you all for watching. I'm Austin Knight, and I hope y'all have a great night.